A man often dreams of the future and grieves in the past, but as his mind travels from the past and the future, he forgets to live in the present. The body exists, but only for the mind to once realize that I have not lived at all. The Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius writes, even if you're going to live 3,000 years or 10 times that, remember, you cannot lose another life than the one you're living now, or live another one than the one you're losing. The longest amounts to the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. Its loss is the same for everyone. And it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost. For you can't lose either the past or the future. How could you lose what you don't have? We often care so much about what should happen or what's going to happen. We delve in the concept of overthinking. We try to change scenarios that we have lived in the past, almost as if we have the superhuman capability of going and being able to relive a moment that has once passed. Or perhaps to so reassuringly tell yourself that if something comes in the future, you can handle it because you have the superhuman capability of living the future just on your terms. But what we fail to realize is those who cannot control the present moment, because the present moment is all that you have to control, can never rule anything. They are slaves of themselves and their impulses that exist. To this extent, Marcus Aurelius writes, remember two things. First, that everything has always been the same and keeps recurring, and it makes no difference whether you see the same things recur in 100 years or 200 or in an infinite period. Second, that the longest lived and those who will die soonest lose the same thing. Present is all that they can give up, since that is all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. Marcus Aurelius points out that we must only focus on the present movement, the present moment that at this particular time you're living. When you're hearing me, that moment is the only moment that you have control over. What is gone and what needs or desires to come, you have no control over. What he also propounds is that what you have control over is what exists right in front of you. You don't have control over what has happened before. You don't have control over anyone else. All you have control over are your present senses, are your present state of mind. It is up to you. If you choose to ignore it, you can keep living in the future, keep worrying about your past. There was a man I knew once, and he sought to live in the future. He told everyone that I'm going to become an engineer and that I'm going to top an examination. And we all believed him, or some of us did not care. But he kept telling himself that. He kept telling repeatedly that he's going to do better, he's going to do great, that he's going to be the best. When his marks showed up, he failed repeatedly in many subjects, as did so many of us. As soon as he got to know his marks, he was unabashedly worried. He was worried because of his past, but he was still reluctant to let go of his dream. The dream of the future, the glorious future, the golden triad that he's imagined, that he's going to win, that he is going to top that examination. Not knowing that his present, at this particular state, is what all he can control. And he cared about his past, and he swung from future and past. Where he ended up, you don't know. It doesn't matter if he ended up in a mediocre college. The answer is he did not get his dream. But that's not even the point. The point is that not only did he not get his dream, he was also, and he's still also, not aware of where he stands today. That is a more dangerous proposition than not achieving your dream. To not realize that your consciousness, that your presence, and that you don't have that mind in the present. And when you don't have a mindset in your present, and when you swing in future and past, all that comes out and the outcome, it's a very dangerous idea. It's a very dangerous idea and a timeless loop of nothingness, anxiety and being worried and overthinking about all probable aspects. But when you sit back, bring your consciousness back to the moment, back to where you are, not worry about what's going to happen, not grieve what has already happened, but to only think about the present, to only feel that you at this moment are alive, that you at this moment are breathing, and that is all that matters.